What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from MTG headquarters. And January 9th, 2017 was a pretty historic day. Not only did we see the first banning in Standard since June of 2011 when Wizards of the Coast banned Jace the Mind Sculptor and Stoneforge Mystic. Before that, there were actually 8 cards that were banned in 2005. But I think it may actually go down as the day that Wizards of the Coast decided that bannings were going to have to be a necessary thing more often going forward to keep the standard format fresh. Information is spreading faster than ever. Add to that extremely effective collaboration tools and aggregated tournament results readily available, the standard format is being solved faster than ever. Fold in the near consistent pressure on R&D to keep the endless stream of new sets being pumped out for consumption, and you end up with a stretched thin, overworked, and talent diluted R&D team that is more and more likely to make mistakes. Let me talk about why bannings suck. I admit I'm not a constructed grinder. I also admit I've never been in a position where every penny I own is sunk into a particular deck. So I can't speak to the emotional burn directly of having your favorite deck nerfed or damaged by banning or losing the ability to play with your favorite card. It's very easy, though, to understand how much this would suck. Many of us don't just play with the cards, we become emotionally attached to our decks. We define ourselves by our archetypes that we play. And that's one of the reasons why people didn't like rotating formats faster. Just when you started to fall in love with a particular deck, it would rotate out and poof, your deck's gone. That part is just one part of why banning sucked. The other part is the financial part. It doesn't take into account that it hurts a largely already financially strained group of players directly in the wallet. When I posted about this on my Facebook and on my Twitter, there were lots of comments about people that were saying, oh man, I just bought my playset of Smuggler's Copter, or oh, I just pulled an Emrakul, rest in pepperonis. And cards like Smuggler's Copter were in almost every deck out there worth playing. So the financial hit of a banning hurts a huge section of players. I don't really care about speculators losing money so much, but it's just not good for the players. It's not good for local gaming stores. It just feels bad all around. Now, maybe, just maybe, people wouldn't care as much if their standard decks weren't costing $500, but that's neither here nor there. Let's talk about who wins with bannings. The simple answer here is almost nobody. Players are annoyed because their decks were neutered, and collectors who may not even play with the cards see their investments disintegrate. Local game stores see the value of their cases drop significantly, and less people are going to come in to buy Kaladesh booster packs because many of the chase rares have now plummeted in value. Attendance at their FNMs almost certainly dip, and some players maybe even quit the game. So I think it's easy to get caught up in the personal feelings of bannings and how much it sucks for us. But also the places where we desperately need to play the game we love hurt a magnitude more than we do. People get pissed at Wizards of the Coast for design mistakes and the failure to play test thoroughly enough ahead of time. And quite frankly, almost everybody loses in a ban, except for perhaps a few prolific prognosticators who may have saw it coming and were able to unload, or maybe people with inside information. But the fact of the matter remains, when a ban comes down, it hurts everyone. And it's easy to kind of think about ourselves, but also, you know, there are people that I think were happy about it, people that were sick of playing against those decks. But overall, bans are a bad thing in general, but a necessary thing. So, whether you love, hate, or are indifferent about banning cards in any format, it's at the very least a necessary evil from time to time. It's my estimation that Wizards of the Coast is looking at player feedback, which we all remember they got roasted in their own Twitter poll about the standard format. They're looking at F&M attendance, and they're looking at their potential year-end financials. And they must have some very real fears about Aether Revolt and how it's going to sell in January. To be quite frank, I think we all know that I'm a bit of a conspiracy theorist, or not necessarily a conspiracy theorist, because I think basic economic factors come into play here with the bannings. If people were just complaining but still going to F&M and attending events, well, it seems unlikely that their ban would have stretched across 3 cards, especially when I don't think they did it perfectly right. I mean, I think they did the best they could, but there appears to be an answer coming for Smuggler's Copter and Aether Revolt, and sure, banning Emrakul is okay, but I thought when they banned things, they didn't normally want to ban the payoff. They banned the pieces up for the payoff. So now that insane mana ramp still kind of exists, but there are other ways to generate lots of mana in turn 4 and cast a very difficult to remove solution. That doesn't also take into account what I think is an even worse impending doom on standard, with several infinite combos coming in Aether Revolt. One of them being basically what people are calling is the new Splinter Twin. And why that wasn't in the ban is pretty easy to tell, in my opinion. It would be pretty bad for sales if Wizards of the Coast had to pre-ban something before the card ever even came out. But I am nearly certain we're going to see another ban pretty quickly after the Pro Tour, where they're going to remove some of these infinite combos. So I think going forward, we need to get used to the idea that bans are going to be happening a little bit more often, and that's probably okay for the health of the game, but it's only okay for the health of the game if we can really get a real concerted effort to bring deck costs down. And I think we saw some early signs of that, deck costs coming down in a couple hundreds, but we see that creeping up again, and standard is just too damn expensive, and these bannings make it a very real effect on the player base, and some people simply won't be able to afford to buy back in. Now, as usual, my comment section is far more important than my opinion, and I really look forward to hearing not only what you think about the new standard bannings, but also bannings in general. How do you react to them? How do you feel? Do you see them as a necessary evil? Do you blame WotC? I'd love to hear from you in the comment section down below. Get used to bannings, folks. There's going to be more.